Oh, hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. What is going on in the world? Let's see here. I came across this thing today and I just thought this was super fascinating that one of those sites out there has odds on the Diddy case. And I just want to go over some of them because I find it very fascinating to see what are some of these things that they have. And let's take a look at it because I think what's very interesting now is what was it? Was it the last cycle where you can uh, basically put money down on the outcome? You know, like Trump versus Harris. There was like, and there you could put money on it. I thought that was very fascinating, and it was like you can tell people thought that he was going to win, even though mainstream media didn't think so. And it was from one of those sites, like he was a heavy favorite, I remember correctly. We can go back. But let's take a look at some of these things. So if you guys are just joining now, um, there's a site that has odds on the Diddy trial. And what I find fascinating about this is that this is somebody else's life, and people are now you're able to put money on it now, which is insane. Those. So let's take a look at some of these odds. Okay. Hope you guys can see this. Okay, let's take a look at some of these odds. How long will the Sean Diddy Combs trial last? Okay, so this site has it at, let's see, over 8.5 weeks is -3. Oh, is -135. Very interesting. So under is -100. I'm trying to remember. I'm not really like versed in sports betting. When it's negative means that if you put $100, you get an additional 5%. Is that what I'm? Let me look this up real quick. Or if someone in chat can quickly tell me, that would be much better. But I'm trying to remember exactly how it works because I do a lot of like just regular props. Like I don't. It's because I'm in California. All this stuff here is not kosher. You can't do this in California. So if you're in one of the states where you can actually do like lots of like sports stuff like this, you would probably know. But I'm trying to remember exactly. Let me. Plus me. Okay. Okay. Okay, so plus basically means you get that much, right? Okay. Okay, yeah. So if it's plus like 100, if it's plus 200 and you wager 100, you would win $200. Okay. Now I'm caught back up. Okay. So basically the negative means that so you don't want to do this. Okay. One thing I know is that you got to go with the long shots. Okay. So just looking at this, right? Doing the how long the case is gonna last is doesn't seem worth it. Okay. But it's very interesting is the let's see the next one. Okay. Will Sean Diddy Combs be found guilty of trafficking? Okay. Most of the money is on the yes. Okay, so that's interesting. Okay, would be convicted of a felony. Most of the money is on yes. So I guess everyone is saying that he's going down. Oh, this is a hard one. Okay, people, if you put money on this one, you're definitely gonna lose. Because I don't see any way that he can be found guilty on everything. Okay. If so it's plus 500 if he's guilty on all five charges. Impossibility. It's not happening. There's no way. I don't think there's any way that he can get on all five charges. Yes. That sounds like a long shot. Oh, okay. I guess this is where the real money is. How many years would Diddy serve for the charges of trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage altogether? Okay. He won't serve any years? Oh, interesting. Plus 2,000. So you put $100 in, you can get 2,000. Is that how it works? Because again, I'm in California. Usually this stuff we don't do very often. So I'm not as familiar with it. Okay, very interesting. So I guess most of the people, if you're looking at the where the money is assuming 10 to 15 years. Okay. Um, I guess you can parlay everything together and kind of like you can really stack things up, I guess, and really make it one of those cool parlay cards. But oh, look at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's cut off. But life sentence is plus 5,000. Woo! I, I just think that this is. Let me see. I think there's another page. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I found it. Let me see if I can share this page too. Oh, sorry. Um, I think this just sets up a bad precedence. That for you to be wagering on someone else's life. All right, let's see this. Okay, this is also on the same site. Okay, these are specials. Okay, will Jennifer Lopez testify at some point? I don't. Okay, that if you putting money on that, that's not happening. I don't see where the Jennifer Lopez comes in at all. Like, how is she relevant? No, no. Okay. And besides, and again, if you're out there somewhere, let me know if you can see this. Sometimes when I share the screen, it's like black. But I took screenshots that way because I think what it is when if YouTube sees like ads, and if YouTube didn't get their beak wet on some of these ads, they black it out. So I'm sharing screenshots and I cut out all the ads on the side to get around that. Let's see what else. Will Jay-Z testify? Ooh, plus 350. Okay, that's a good no. I think they said Jay-Z is lowering up like crazy for him to not testify. Um, and I don't see. Here's the thing about the celebrities. They come in. Their testif the the OF stuff again. I keep bringing it up. It's fun to talk about, and it's crazy, but it does not have anything to do with what he's really being charged with. And I'm assuming, allegedly, right, the Jay-Z stuff comes in for the parties. I'm saying the parties don't have anything to do with the actual case itself. The Kid Cudi stuff, that was big. That's big stuff because there's actual stuff going on. Arson, like kidnapping, that kind of stuff. That's relevant. Party stuff, I'm telling you, they're wasting their time with that. Okay. Who's Christina Koram? I have no idea who that is. Okay, that's the Kura. Who's that? I have no idea who Christina Cor. Oh, she's okay. She's most likely gonna get involved at the case. I could totally see that. Okay. Okay, so that's that. With the Diddy stuff. Okay, so it seems like just looking at that, it seems like people are expecting him to get convicted of something. I mean, what did they say at the beginning of this? They said that the conviction rate for the prosecutors on just in general is like 90 something percent. And a lot of times what that is, they gonna get you on something. It doesn't look good for them to be using all this money and time and effort and whatnot for you to get off, right? They're not gonna let that happen. They're gonna get him on something, that's for sure. Now, if it's is it like a life? Well, they keep saying life. Like he's facing life charges. Well, if you look at the money, we just looked at the odds, right? This is just, I mean, then again, this is just people, but I'm assuming it's still mucho dollars, lots of money, right? Uh, five, it's plus 5,000 for life, so that's not happening. Most likely 10 to 15 years. That's where all the money is at, and that makes sense. It's a nice medium, right? Nice middle ground. So I could totally see that. But I was talking about this in my earlier stream. It doesn't look good that you can start wagering on someone else's life. It doesn't look good. As I was saying, this opens the door for somebody. I'm telling you, some company out there is gonna start thinking about some guy. This is how all these things get done. Okay, I've been to some of these events before, where you get a bunch of guys together. Uh, some guys with money, some guys with ideas, some guys with skills, and they just come together. Maybe you're having I don't know, a barbecue or something, and you guys all know this one guy, and you get a bunch of guys that come together, and they all have different skills, right? Money guy, technical skill guy, idea guy, whatever, right? And you just sit around, you're having a barbecue, you get some drinks, and you just start spitballing ideas, right? And this happens all the time. And I'm pretty sure somewhere out there at one of these get togethers, someone's going to spitball the idea of live, real time proposition wagers. I'm telling you, I was thinking about this right like literally like an hour ago, and I'm pretty sure it's in the books. Someone's working on this. Or maybe it's already out and I just don't know, right? Where you can live stream something. Right. This is my thought. Maybe someone will refine it to make more sense. But this is just a rough idea. Okay. You live stream, let's say kids baseball game, right? And you're like, I don't think how many home runs do you think it's gonna be in this game? you know, right? Just kids little league game, and you're just like live streaming, and you're like, how many home runs do you think in this game? And then some guys can be like, I think there's gonna be four, right? And you're like, cool. I'll bet you $5 that there's not five home runs. And you're like, okay. And boom, you both agree. And then maybe another guy comes in like, I want a piece of that too. Right? And then you guys do something else. I'm telling you, it's gonna be something that could be worked on. Or you're gonna go and you like just live stream a liquor store and be like, hey, what are the chances you think this liquor store is gonna get mugged in the next like 2 days? Or something like that. And like let's put some money on it. I'm telling you, this wager starting to wager, I guess, on court cases now. It's gonna open the door for everyday random people wagering. It's gonna happen. All right. What else should we talk about? All right. The other story that I saw that was very interesting is this Belgium princess. This story popped up on one of my feeds. It's what's her name? It's Belgium's future queen, Princess Elizabeth. come on, some newness. Caught up in Harvard foreign student crackdown. Okay, so let's read into this. So basically, Princess Elizabeth, Belgium's future queen, is right now attending Harvard, and it's her first year, and she is in the crosshairs, I guess, to be deported because she is not from America. She's on a student visa program, and she could be sent back to Belgium. And I guess, like I said earlier, I've said this now in the last two streams. Another point of the foreign exchange student program is to build soft power in these other countries. Like, this is a great example of that. I keep using Kim Jong Il or Kim Jong Un, whichever one he is. But this Belgian princess, let's just take her, okay, and just think about her life in general. Speculate with me, okay? She goes to school at Harvard. She goes, most likely she's Princess Belgium, right? She goes back to Harvard. Goes back to Belgium. She marries some guy that has power in Belgium. Okay? Later on, something happens, right? She has some sort of influence over this guy or whatever that's going on the affairs that goes on in interactions with America. And she has sway, right? You see where it's, and then she thinks back, maybe we're about to go to war with Belgium one day over what does Belgium have? What do we want from Belgium? Belgium main exports. What do they do? What does Belgium do? Chemicals, diamonds. Wait, no. Pharmaceuticals, motor vehicle parts, and refined petroleum. Is that what they're up to? Oh, and other things they do is pharmaceuticals. Okay. When I think about Belgium, I just think about Belgium chocolates. So let's just say we want some Belgium chocolates, okay? And we go to war about it. And the princess somehow becomes queen, right? Isn't that what it is? Princes are in line to become queen. Maybe she's like 15th down the line. Who cares? But she has sway. And then when she's thinking about going to war with America, she remembers that time that she spent in Harvard, and she thinks about that friend that she made or friends that she made while she was in school in America. And then she decides, I'm not going to mess with them today. I don't want to mess up Jenny's life. You see? So that's one thing that I think about the foreign students. It builds a soft spot in their heart for America. And then there's other things. Sometimes they stay and they become productive working people. Okay, so that's that story. What else is going on in the world that we want to talk about? I think that's the main thing. That's it for now. I gotta go, unless there's something that you guys really, 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 really want me to talk about. But if not, that's it for now. We'll catch up a little bit later. Oh, actually, let's get caught up on the Diddy case real quick. I haven't done Diddy Case. I just want to see what's going on today. Let's see. They had the hairstylist that was on. They had another assistant that was on, Mia. But let's see what is going on right now. Let's check out this live coverage. Okay, Wednesday. I'm trying to think, is there anything really, really interesting? I know the main thing that I feel like is really, really starting to get into the meat of the case. And I know the defense team wants to get the case thrown out at this point because they keep hearing all these testimonies or whatnot that are irrelevant, and you're like, that's one thing I want to make a comment on. The idea of poisoning the jury pool is very interesting to me, where you can say wild stuff, right? And then the judge just basically goes, "Oh, you guys have to ignore that." How do you ignore? How do you ignore that? You know what I mean? Where it's like, I'm just thinking about as a person, real, like, I know that's what they're supposed to do, but you gotta think as a person, how do you really ignore random things that you heard and you're like, oh, this shouldn't have any weight on your decision. They could be out there and be like, you know what? One of the witnesses they bring up later on could be like, you know what? I heard that Diddy was doing this and that with this on the moon with suitcases and suitcases of really paint the picture of of what, like, some crazy thing that he's doing, and the jury's supposed to just ignore that. And they just strike it out. Like, they're like, oh, ignore all that whole day that you spent listening to this guy, ignore all that. I don't know. All right, that's it for now. I'll be back a little bit later.